You know, perspective is a funny thing. There are so many characters that do the most abhorrent shit imaginable, yet the moment we get their backstory, suddenly we view them as some adorable sad boy that should be protected. It's crazy to think about just how easy it is to humanize someone when you can see the world through their eyes. Which is something I had to really think about when I read The World of Otomege is Tough for Mobs alternate incest manga. Yeah, I hope that got your attention, because it's just gonna get weirder from here. Welcome, friends. I'm Merlin with a Y, a certain famous wizard's less talented but more attractive cousin. And I'm here to talk about this piece of shit, and the manga that had the audacity to make me like her. This is The World of That Otomege is Tough for Us, and I'm gonna talk about this because I hated this woman. And now I just want her to have a good life. The me from last week would be sickened. So before I get into the alternate incest route, I feel like I should explain why I hated this character so much. This is Marie Faux Lafan, the little sister of the main character of The World of Otomege is Tough for Mobs. That's a mouthful, so I'll call it Mobuseka. Seeing her from her brother's perspective, we find out a few things about her before she's truly introduced. Most of it isn't positive. We find out she's selfish, two-faced, and uses her good looks and grades to put on the act of a kind and selfless angel. She's not evil or anything, but she's unbearably smug and annoying in a way that just infuriates anyone who's ever dealt with someone like her in real life. She's that annoying type of person who does what she wants to get what she wants and isn't used to the consequences of her own actions falling onto herself. Like when she hid her yaoi porn in her brother's room, and when their mother found it, she used her trust as the good child to say that he was into that stuff, essentially trying to make their parents think they're outing him as gay despite him being completely straight, which is a dick move. She then proceeds to use that misunderstanding to blackmail him into spending one of his rare breaks off work playing an Otome game. Think female dating simulator, which accidentally leads to his death when he, after finally finishing the game, collapses on a staircase due to fatigue and bashes his head. Now that's pretty bad, but that shouldn't be enough to hate her. True, but here's the thing. That's all in the first chapter, and she's not even close to done. After her brother dies, he's isekai'd into the world of the Otome game he was forced to play, as Leon Bradford, a random mob character. And who does he find in this new world? But a smug little shit who reminds him of his past life's sister. That's right, she got isekai'd too, and she has made it her mission to make a mess out of everything. Using her knowledge of the game, she hijacks the protagonist's spot and manipulates the romantic targets to form a harem that's head over heels in love with her. She doesn't even like the members of her harem. She just finds them hot and wants their rich lifestyle. Thing is though, she never finished the game. So what she doesn't know is that by taking the protagonist's spot, she's made it so the actual protagonist can't save the day and wrecked the story. What? You thought you could turn all the most important young heirs and eligible bachelors of the kingdom into your simps without there being any consequences? Really? And it's up to Leon to fix his sister's screw-ups once again. At the very least, in this version, she does get some karma, in that when her harem loses their royal status because of their relationship, she's stuck babysitting the dumbasses, who've been so coddled by their privileged upbringing that they have no idea how to be proper adults. And I loved seeing her finally get the karma for all the shit she pulled. The thing with Marie is that she's a realistic kind of terrible. There are plenty of characters I love that are objectively worse people than her, but the thing is, they're either entertaining / likable enough that I don't care, or their crimes feel less real. Boa Hancock kicking a cat in her first introduction feels cartoonishly evil, to the point where it's more comedic than anything else. But Marie manipulating the royals into loving her purely so she can get to their money and power feels truly scummy. The royals are certainly at fault as well, but she's the core issue. It's the same with Boa Hancock's cartoonish, "the world will forgive me because I'm beautiful," narcissism, versus Marie's childish, I'm a harmless angel narcissism. She was just the right amount of realistic, pathetic, and scummy that I was convinced that there was nothing the author could do that would change my mind about her. Then I read the spin-off, and that changed everything. In the alternate incest manga, The World of That Otome Game Is Tough for Us, we see the beginning story from her perspective. We see her blackmail her brother and lie to her parents to get money for a trip abroad. All the things we expected from when we saw it from her brother's perspective. But it keeps going. We see when, as soon as the trip ends, reality strikes. Her brother died, leaving behind nothing but a flash drive with the game data she blackmailed him for. And she didn't attend the funeral because she didn't answer her phone when she was on the trip. We see her come clean to her parents, get thrown out of their house, drop out of college to become a hostess, and eventually become a single mother. To give her daughter a better life, she has her parents raise her daughter, on the condition that she can only see her a couple times a month. Doing her best to make money for her daughter? What she can scrounge together is taken by her loser boyfriend, who accidentally kills her when she tries to stop him from gambling away the money that she wanted to use to buy her daughter a birthday present. As she lays dying, all she can think about is how life fell apart, and that she wants to see her daughter one last time. And as she passes away, she calls out to her older brother, the one who always heeded her whims when she was younger. But that's not the end. Not yet, at least. Much like her brother, she awakens into the world of the Otome game that started all this. Desperate not to live the depressing life that she had before, she uses what little she remembers about the game, one that, unlike her brother, she never finished, and likely hadn't thought of in close to a decade, to come up with a plan to let her finally live a happy life. Though she was born into a poor noble family and has to hunt and butcher her own food, and is left with their debts, she still works herself to the bone, learning magic and waiting for the day where she can put her plan into action. Now this is where the spin-off of the manga splits from the original source material. Before Marie can start her plan, Leon cockblocks her, stopping her from seducing the romantic targets. She's left with all her hard work and effort going down the drain. She's no longer a smug gold digger that got what she wanted, but instead, a girl who was dealt a bad hand and was doing everything she could to get a better one, yet still failed. It's this, a pitiable backstory, willingness to put in the work where it matters, and being so determined and desperate enough that she put everything on the line for a better life. That made her no longer just a piece of shit, but an interesting character with trauma and desires. And I eat that shit up. Hell, she outright admits that she can't remember her family's faces. Not even her daughter's face. Yet she's so traumatized by her past that when she sees someone with a similar face to her ex-boyfriend, she practically has a panic attack. I will admit though, while I hate her actions, I can understand why she would do what she does. Hell, I can't say with 100% certainty that I wouldn't do the same thing, though I probably wouldn't go to that extent. It was through seeing her perspective that she became more than just an annoyingly smug villain that makes the MC's life harder. Big surprise, having context for why someone does something beyond "I'm a massive bitch" can really help you empathize with them. Does this work with every character? No. There are always going to be characters that no amount of seeing their perspective can help, be it due to bad writing or just unlikable traits. But Marie is a masterclass at taking a character almost every reader hated and making her likable. Now if only they just stuck with that, because there's a reason I called this the alternate incest manga. And that's because Marie and her brother from another mother, at least in this life, have way too much chemistry. Neither of them know the other is actually their sibling from their past life, but they both recognize the similarities between them and what they remember of their past lives. So when Marie says that she ended up liking someone who bore a striking resemblance to her brother, all I'm hearing is Sweet Home Alabama while getting flashbacks to sister leveling. The worst part is they are genuinely likable together. They each curb each other's worst impulses and help push each other up in their own ways. Leon calls her out on her bullshit and stops her from making a huge mess of the canon that she originally would have. And Marie stops him from making an enemy out of everyone in the school and tries to help him and his friends get some girls. They have what feels like an effortless friendship that, while it started on rocky terms, would have made a great romance story if we didn't know that they were siblings in a past life. Hell, every character is already convinced that those two should get together, and it's only the fact that they're both into completely different types of people, and they're turned off by the whole "reminds me of my sibling" thing, that stops them. And I don't want to get into whatever weird eugenics project Luxian might have cooking in the background. Though luckily, there is a chance that the story won't make them get together. Or maybe not. I haven't read the light novel or the web novel, but Leon does seem to have some chemistry with Angelica, and Olivia seems to like what she sees. Though whether that'll go anywhere is anyone's guess. Let me know in the comments, but be sure to label it as a spoiler for anyone who wants to check out the series. Beyond making me love Marie as a character, the series also does a great job of showing us the characters we already know and love in a different circumstance. Angelica, without Leon to push her out of her villainous role, is now stuck as the floundering love rival that we all know is doomed to failure. Yet we still love her because we know why she acts the way she does. Olivia, without Marie to take her place as the harem protagonist, is now somehow worse off than she was in the original. I won't say too much because I want you guys to check it out, but trust me when I tell you that there is something really wrong under the surface. And if I disliked the royals in the original series, I hate them in this one. They suffer from all the same problems they had in the original, but these dumbasses somehow found a way to be even more shameless without Marie. It really goes to show how changing the situation and showing different perspectives can change the series and characters so much. But overall, I really like this manga. It has its issues, but the characters and perspectives feel like a fun change from the original, and I genuinely found myself enjoying a character who would normally piss me off beyond belief. And any media that can make you change your mind about something is worth checking out. But let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching till the end. Please like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe. Let me know what you think of this series or my video. Some stuff is happening in my life that's made it a bit more difficult to make these videos, but I still want to keep entertaining you fine people. I'm Merlin with a Y, and thank you for listening to this old man ramble.